So hello guys, so today's project, well, before we start, we haven't started our season yet. It's open, but problem is the weather until now it's not favorable. It's still rough out there, it's still windy. So I'm still in the process of lubricating my reels. Unfortunately, during the off season, I was really busy and I wasn't able to do a full service. I did one with my go-to jigging reel, which is the Tranks. That's the only one I did a full service on. Unfortunately, the other reels, I would have to settle with just lubricating them. Anyways, I didn't use them that much, so it's okay just to lubricate them. Now the only difference with this today's video is I did a video earlier in which I lubricated the reels in between visits, but I didn't remove the side plates. Okay, this time we're going to remove the side plates and we're going to remove the spools. Okay, and purpose for that is for us to be able to access the spool bearings, okay, and also clean the spools a little bit. And so let me just tell you what kind of reels I have here. So we're gonna do it on 3 reels. This one is a low profile bait casting reel. Okay, this is a Lews. Yeah, it's a Lews brand, I forgot. Yeah, the Speedspool LFS. There you go. It's a 100 size reel. And then we're also gonna do it on my Calcutta. This is a Shimano Calcutta 200 GTB. Okay, and lastly we're gonna do it on so this one is a round bait casting reel. This is my go-to casting reel. Okay, and then last we're gonna do it on a conventional, or what we call overhead in Asia or in the Philippines. This one particularly has a level wind, so this actually is the trickiest to lubricate when you remove the side plates, and I'll explain why later. Okay, so let's start. Let me just put this away. So good thing with bait casting reels, it's so easy to remove the side plates. Sometimes it doesn't really, you cannot really remove it, but you can just open it. This one you can remove it, and as you can see, it's still lubricated inside, but yeah, there's a little dirt in there, so we have to clean it also. So this is what I would call my semi reel service, because I didn't open the main body to clean the gears. Just wipe it a little bit. I think I need to use a reel cleaner for this one. Really dirty. Go. So clean the back plate, the left side plate. This is the left side plate. Okay, and you can see there's a bearing there, so I'm gonna put oil on it a little bit. Okay, there you go. Then I will also clean the spool. As you can see, there's a bearing there too. Okay. Just wipe it. So I decided to remove the spool, since I'm not going to be able to do a full service, because these parts are exposed to salt water. With my reels, I try to avoid salt water from splashing into the reel, and however I do spray it with fresh water. So and as you can see, it's paying off. It's not that dirty, but still you have a little salt sediments inside, so we'll try to just wipe it off. Okay. So let's also put, I'm gonna oil this part here. This is part of the warm gear for the Levelwind. Put oil on it, and let's oil this a little bit. Now this is the clutch, the thumb bar. So in this part here, and then I'm gonna put a little oil here too, just a drop. Okay. Okay, and then I'll put a little oil there, and on, that's what you can see there. What you're seeing there is the pinion gear. So I'm gonna put a little oil in there. You know what? I'm gonna put grease. Grease, why? Because it's to make the spool engage smoothly. So this part here is the one that engages to the pinion gear when you engage the reel. Okay, then you want that a little bit smoother, so I'm going to put a little oil on the bearing. So bearing, just a reminder, just oil. Okay, so on the shaft I'll put oil because this one inserts to the bearing, so I put oil on the shaft. Okay. I did service this last year, so I think I can get away with just lubricating it. We don't fish that often. Well, once a week is when we fish, but you know, we don't use the same reel all the time. The reels that are really used, we really use all the time, are the jigging reels, but not the casting reels. Okay, there you go. So, okay, let's see how it's smoother now. Okay. And then of course we have to grease the warm gear of the Levelwind. Okay, and then I'm gonna remove the cast control. There you go. A little tricky to remove. There you go. So as you can see, there's a bearing there too, and there's a little corrosion there, so just gonna use a little bit of a degreaser cleaner to wipe off the corrosion. Well, the thing with I think this model, this baitcaster, I don't think it's really designed for salt water. Usually 100 size or the smallest size baitcasters are used for bass fishing, which is salt water. Although this reel, my brother has been using this for about 4 years now, and it's still good. And believe it or not, this small reel lands big stripers, 10 pounds and above, bluefish. This reel was able to handle those bluefishes and striped bass, so it's a dependable reel. So let me just clean that off. So just clean the thread of the spool, the cast control. What I'm going to do, although there's a, as you can see, there's a gasket there to prevent salt water from getting into the cast control and eventually to the spool shaft and the bearing. So just an added measure, I'll put a little grease on the thread, okay, and that will help seal the cast control. So we lubricated the spool brake. Now next thing we're gonna lubricate is the knob. But to tell you honestly, if I wasn't that busy, I would have opened the reel and do a full service. Okay, we're done with small bait caster. See the difference now? Okay. Let me just pull a little oil on the spool, this part here. Just a little. Make it smoother. Okay. Done with the small bait caster. Next, the round bait caster. Okay. So this is the Shimano Calcutta 200 size GTB, and the power handle, I upgraded it. I used the handle. It's not really a power handle, it's a counterbalance handle from a size 400 Calcutta. So I got this from eBay. It's just harder when it's the double, forgot what you call that, double paddle, the double paddle handle. This is easier and gives me more power when I'm cranking, especially when we were catching striped bass and bluefish. Okay, so this one, loosen. This is a little bit too loose. I tighten it because you can actually just tighten it with your fingers, but the thing is it loosens up over time, so I tightened it with the screwdriver. So what's common among round bait casters is usually you can remove the right side plate. Can see, so the right side plate comes off, and there's the gears, so you can see. Okay, that's what's common among round bait casters. So let's see, not that dirty. Let's see inside. I did service this a year ago, so looks good. Anyway, I don't have time to really service it, so I'm just going to again do a quick lube. Let's just wet the paper towel with some degreaser or cleaner. Wipe it off. Again, I can afford to just do a quick lube with my reels because my reels doesn't get wet with salt water. But I would highly recommend you do a full service if your reels do get splashed by salt water, even just a splash, not even a soap. So salt water is very bad for your wheels. There you go. And let's see this. So I'm not spraying the degreaser directly on the gears because I really don't want to dissolve the grease, because I'm not doing a full service. So I'm just gonna wipe off the dirty deposits, the dirt deposits. And as you can see, there's not much. Okay. Just remove. So it's hard to remove the cast control when you don't remove the oh well, this one is easier, but when you don't remove the star drag, sometimes well, most of the time the star drag will get in the way for you to remove the cast control knob. And the cast control knob is dirty. Go. So I'm just wiping off as much as I can. Okay, so I can see the gears, so I'm gonna put grease on it. Grease there. Let's grease the pinion gears. Okay, there you go. Go. Right. Oil on the bearing. Oil on the spool shaft. Grease on the, call this grease on the level one. There you go. Let's put a little oil on the thumb bar. I put oil because it's you know, if you can, I would put oil here on the thumb bar instead of grease, because you know it's exposed and the grease will just, you know, gather dirt. So it's easily, I can easily oil it, so you know I would just oil it with, instead of putting grease on the thumb bar. All right, and let's put it back together. Let's put oil on bearing for this. This is the spool bearing, and okay, so let's return the. Oops, forgot. Okay, I'm gonna put oil. Oh no, sorry. I'm gonna put grease on the thread of the gas control knob, so it would seal it from you know, with salt water from getting into the gas control knob. There you go. All right, take that. Just make sure you lined it up properly. Where is it? There you go. So you can just tighten it with your hands, but I'm going to tighten with a screwdriver because what happens over time, the screws loosen without me noticing it. There you go. So just gonna tighten it. Okay, good. Okay, let's also put oil on the star drag. Then oil on the knob. As you can see, I'm just putting drops of oil. Don't soak it. Oh, by the way, when you put the side plate, the right side plate back, make sure that the thumb bar is on the up position. Okay, if not, what's gonna happen is it will be, if it's on the free position or a down position, then it will not connect to the clutch release on the right side plate. So if that happens, so if your thumb bar is not aligned to the spool release or the clutch on the main housing, all you need to do is just remove it again. Okay, push the thumb bar up before you return the right side plate. Okay, let's see how. Too tight. And the survival resistance is the tape. I was wondering why it's not rolling freely, not spinning freely. It was because of the tape. There you go. It's done. Okay, good to go. So I saved this for last. This is an overhead or conventional level wind reel because this is a little complicated. Okay, so this is a Daiwa Saltist. This is the 20 HC, size 20. Okay, there you go. Now this one, for you to remove the left side plate, you have to unscrew. This part here. So there you go. Now this one is it's a new reel, bought last year. I really didn't use it that much. Usually this is the reel I use if I'm using a heavier jig, like an 8 ounce or a 200 gram jig, then I will use this one. This is a good alternative for the OSHA jigger because it has the same auto engage function, just like the OSHA jigger. As you can see, has an auto engage function. And by the way, I upgraded the power handle. It originally came with a counterbalance power handle. Of course, we all know that's not applicable for jigging, so I replaced it with a power handle from a Thorium PG models, Power Gear models, and it fits. As I've said, if you've been following my videos, the standard shaft is 8 by 5 millimeters with a lot of reels. So if that's the case, then you can interchange the handles on different brands. The only thing is you have to, when you buy the handle, you also have to buy the nut plate, and of course the screw that holds the nut plate. Okay, those are the 4 things you have to buy if you're going to upgrade the power handles using the Shimano Thorium model. Okay, there you go. All right, look at that. It's new, so it still has the original grease in it. And let's remove them. Okay, that's not really dirty. Okay, but let's clean it. So I'm not going to spray the degreaser straight to the reels because I don't want to dissolve the grease. Just let's clean that part, this part. Just wipe it off. Okay. Okay. So see, it's not that dirty, so let's just wipe this off. Wipe it off. There we go. Okay. So the grease on the gears are clean, so I'm not gonna touch that. Gotta put oil on the bearing there. Bearing, and yep, there's a bearing here too. Okay. And I'm gonna put grease here. So this is the part that engages the pinion gear when you engage the reel or you engage the spool. Okay, so I'm going to put grease there. Oil on the shaft. Oil on the shaft. Okay, so this is the clicker gear right here. Okay, and this is the gear for the level wind. So we're gonna go to the details of that because usually conventional level wind reels has a synchronized level wind, meaning the level wind moves as the spool spins. Okay, unlike most bait casters, that's not the case. Most bait casters, the spool, when it's free in free spool, the level wind doesn't move. Okay, now the importance of that we'll discuss later in a separate video. Okay, so that's good. Let's put it back. Okay, okay, there you go. And okay, now when you do this, when you remove the side plate, okay, because this is a synchronized level wind, I can almost guarantee you that your level wind will become unsynchronized, or it will not, the line will not be lined up anymore. So on a separate video, I'm gonna show you how to easily synchronize the line on the level wind. All right, but right now we're just gonna focus on lubricating the reels. So okay, let's find where it is. There you go. Okay, I always put a little grease on the screws, so it just to make sure it doesn't seize on me. Because if salt water gets in the thread, on the thread, and it corrodes, the screw may seize on you, and you may not be able to, of course, or it will be hard for you to remove the screws. So I always put a little grease on the thread. Okay, too tight. Okay, done on that side. Of course, same with the, okay, oh, let's put grease on the level wind. Okay, and let's oil the clutch lever. Let's put a little oil here too. But I really don't think there's contact between the body and the spool. I know I think it's floating. I don't really think it's, because I don't feel any friction. Because if it has contact on the main body, if the spool has contact on the main body, then there will, there will be friction, and there's none. Yeah. All right, very smooth. Okay. Okay, this is a moving part, so let's put oil. Okay, same as the other reels, we will remove the cast control. I really don't think anyone uses it for casting. I would call it as a spool brake, because I tighten it when I'm dropping a jig, so to control the drop of the jig. So I'm not really using, I don't think anyone uses this for casting, tell you honestly. So I think we can just call it as a spool brake or spool control. Let's put that off. Okay. Now let's put a drop of oil inside. There you go. Oil here. And of course, let us grease, put a little grease on the thread to seal it. Oh, what do you know, this is easier to remove and to put back. The star drag doesn't get in the way. Alrighty. Okay, that's good. Now, okay, let's put a little oil on the star drag there. Okay, and oil on the handle. All right, so that's it, guys. Okay, I'm done. Again, I can afford to do this because my reels, it doesn't really get soaked or sprayed by salt water. The only time it's exposed to salt water is from the line, but most of the time, you know, it's not. So just in case your reel gets splashed by salt water, not even soap, I would really highly recommend you open the reel up, you know, do a full service, because you know it will corrode your reels. So okay, thank you so much for watching, and then you know, hopefully we can start fishing soon, and instead of tutorials, I can start you know, making videos of our fishing trip. So thank you for watching, and please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.